Here's the deal. You're never going to get the same score as the actual person that's checking your credit. They're always different. You're looking to improve your report, not just your score. Okay. Make sure your report's clean. And if you really focus on the report overall with some of the strategies that I just talked about, that'll be helpful. You know, one person might show you as a 760, another one might show you as a 790, another one might show you as a 720. Even when you pull up all three bureaus, you're probably not going to have the same score on any of those bureaus. So just keep the report as clean as you can. Money can be complicated. Let a nerd help you. We're here to demystify the complex nature of money by getting you answers from financial nerds and whiz kids. Welcome to Ask the Money Nerds, a weekly segment of the Wealth Labs podcast where we answer your most pressing money questions. Can you use someone else's credit history to improve yours? What happens if you've signed for someone else to get approved for something and they miss a payment? These are the things that we're going to talk about right now. All right? There's like credit hacks, but some of them don't work any longer.
I feel like there's a hack for everything in life these days, don't you think?
Sometimes the hacks are a lot harder than just doing the real thing.
Did
you ever notice that?
Biohacks?
Yeah, like sometimes I'm like, I'll just work out. You know?
Everybody's looking for a shortcut.
I'm friends with a lot of people that know the deep hacks, and it's like, but these guys are in health. They're in like, you know, it's like, okay, yeah, you could do that, or
enjoy your life.
Yeah, they're beastly. They're good. I just don't want to do them.
Part of me wonders, like, what if I just dedicated a year of my life to do all the biohacks and just felt what it would experience what it would feel like.
Like, here's
just
the
for
five,
a day to be like in the best shape of my life, to be the sharpest mind, to be most
Let me
creative.
give them to you, okay? Number one,
okay,
lots of water.
Got it.
Number two, lots of sleep.
Not so well, but I'm working on it.
No. You know, 3, movement, like get out and walk, right?
Done.
Sunshine. Number 4, right?
Jeez.
But not too much because you don't get cancer or something, you know.
H spots.
And 5, limit your stress. Spend more time in a parasympathetic state versus a sympathetic state.
Yeah.
There's my 5 hacks of health.
Okay. Was that, I had 4 out of the 5 maybe?
Yeah, you said sleep.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Do I bring stress to your life?
No, not very much.
Okay, just sometimes.
I think I add more stress to my own life by my own doing. Okay, here we go. Rachel's question.
Okay.
All right. She says, I'm 26. I started working on building my credit a couple of years ago. To help, my dad added me to his Sears credit line because he has good credit.
Yeah, you know it's an old credit line if it's Sears.
I know. My mom loves Sears. Tires, every lawn equipment.
I bought my grandma earrings at Sears once.
Whoa,
so you know those
so
were
fancy.
quality. Yeah.
You know, you could get everything at Sears. Washers, dryers, beds, clothes, you know.
And now, nothing. At least not the Sears here.
Yeah, I don't think they're around anymore. Okay. Since then, I've acquired 2 credit cards from my bank and a Victoria's Secret credit card. My credit has dramatically improved, and I'm currently at 730.
Nice.
My dad, for the first time ever, missed a payment on his Sears card, which showed on my Credit Karma account. In addition, because of his late payment, his limit on the account also lowered, and causing a utilization percentage he used to rise. So I'm really good at making sure I only utilize 7 to 10% of my credit limit, but I'm not sure that my dad is as strict with his limits the way I am. Should I get off my dad's Sears account?
Yep.
If so, how exactly do I do that? Thanks so much for all of your knowledge you share. It's done so much for me.
Yeah. Go to wealthfactory.com/credit. There's some really cool resources there. But I once used my mom's credit history because she's really responsible and she had a much longer history than me, right? I didn't go on one of her cards that was around before I was born, but it actually did boost my credit score. But that's a hack that doesn't really work anymore. They figured that out.
Yeah.
They figured out, oh, people are doing this to improve their score, to show a history that really wasn't their history.
Yeah.
They're entering that history later on. So, you know, the utilization that she's talking of 7 to 10% means that on her lines of credit, which are typically credit cards, using only 10% of what's available. So if it's $10,000, using $1,000 or less. So when you stay under 20%, that's ideal, maybe even up to 30%. Having a few credit cards is great. I avoid department store cards because usually they have very limited amounts that you can get. You want the highest limits available for credit utilization and depth. And, you know, preferably don't use them at all if you have a hard time using them and end up owing money the next month. So this is kind of use and pay off, which not everybody does a good job with. Yeah. So yeah, get off her dad's. I definitely recommend that. Let's see. What else would we recommend here? Ways to improve and handle credit. Limit your inquiries. So there's hard inquiries and soft inquiries. Soft is you're looking at your credit. No problem. You can do that as often. She mentioned Credit Karma. Hard inquiry is someone else is looking at your credit to get a car, a bank account, or something like that. You want to limit those. Utilization rate, we've already talked about. An installment loan can actually help your credit score. An installment loan is like a car loan. If you're paying it on time, it's a fixed period of time. By actually having one, you can boost your credit score. Errors really hurt your credit score. So eliminate errors any chance you can. So you want to write in, certified mail, just look at your credit reports. Is there something that doesn't belong to you? Are they not reporting what your limits really are? So it looks like you've maxed those out. Those are just a few of the kind of components that way. And then consistent address makes a difference. So if you're moving too often, that could hurt your credit score. So sometimes I recommend just getting a P.O. box and then having stuff sent there. Do they still have P.O. boxes? I don't even pay attention anymore.
I think they do at the post office.
I used to have a safety deposit box at the bank. Lost the key to it. Fortunately, there's nothing of value. And there was back before the cloud, I was taking, an inventory in my home in case we ever had an insurance claim. And so I kept it there. But yeah.
Where do people put stuff now that, I have
a safe
in your house?
There's a safe over there. Yeah. And someone could just pick up and leave with.
So super secure is what you're saying.
Super secure. Yeah. It's out here. There's a handgun in there. So if anything happens when we're in the main place, I got to come out here. We're done. There's no protection to that at this point. So
just having it there, it makes you feel good.
We thought
right?
someone was in our house one night. It was I think it was like a sonic boom went off and it shook the window. So it sounded like someone was in. I'm like, the gun's downstairs. We're upstairs. Look, it's in a safe. It's not loaded, not protected at all right now.
Is it just the thought that having it makes you feel safe?
I don't feel safe because I took my wife to the shooting range for date night once and everything was hit perfectly on that paper when they brought it back. They're like, oh, you're really precise. I'm like, just so everybody knows, if something ever happens to me and it doesn't look like it was my wife that did it, it was for sure her. Every time we watch one of those murder movies, she's like, oh, if they would have done this, they would have got away with it. I'm like, it's scary that you know this much about it. I don't ever think about those things. So anyway, helping with credit and solving crimes all in the same episode. And even this is health hacks.
Double feature.
Yeah. Anything else, Stella, that we need to cover here?
Well, I'm just wondering, Credit Karma seems like a very common, place. But what are some other places or companies that people can utilize to?
Yeah, you can look at your credit score with annual credit report. I remember recommending one like True Credit and people didn't like it. You could go to myfico.com and you can get a more accurate report. But here's the deal. You're never going to get the same score as the actual person that's checking your credit. They're always different. You're looking to improve your report, not just your score. Okay. Make sure your report's clean. And if you really focus on the report overall with some of the strategies that I just talked about, that'll be helpful. One person might show you as a 760, another one might show you as a 790, another one might show you as a 720. Even when you pull up all three bureaus, you're probably not going to have the same score on any of those bureaus. So just keep the report as clean as you can.
It seems like there are so many variables that go into our credit scores that there's so much to manage and keep track of. And know about.
Not as much. Not as much as you would think. Errors, big one. Utilization rate, big one. Installment loan to help you out, that's helpful. Inquiries, another one. Paying on time, that's kind of the obvious one. So I read a book years ago called 7 Steps to 720 by my buddy Phil Tyrone. It was super simple. So we certified in that, and then we filmed this thing at wealthfactory.com/credit where I brought on credit experts, because I'm not any certification in credit. I just kind of know the basics around it and kind of help people navigate it. But those guys do a really good job, and that's a free resource. So there you go. Good question. Rachel, you're doing good things. You're doing everything that you can. That's great. Hopefully this gives you a little bit more so you can turn your thoughts into profits and build a life you love.